What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Life is Strange yet again, and a potential reason for hope. Now, at least that's for me, Mr. Optimistic over here. I want to believe in the future of the Life is Strange franchise. I want to believe in Deck 9. Obviously, a lot of stuff has happened, not even including, the actual release of Double Exposure. Everything since then, right? We know there's been major shakeups there, and I don't know, whatever the next thing is for Life is Strange is probably not going to be what it once was going to be, right? Like when everybody was there, say if you asked them over the summer. But what I want to talk about here is basically surveying Life is Strange fans. And we actually have talked about this before because they did this before. I think they did it in London. Okay, they definitely did it overseas after Double Exposure came out. But, it was kind of thought of, okay, well, is it just a one and done? It's a very centrally located, right? Like only people in that area. And granted, people in this area are also only going to be the ones to do this. But I don't know, maybe it is me being a little too optimistic, but I just think you do it two different times, two different places. Maybe you're really taking the fans' opinions seriously, right? So this comes from Adnan over on Twitter, friend of the channel. I had him on the live stream where we talked about Double Exposure, and he says that Square Enix is hosting a paid research opportunity for Life is Strange fans in the United States. It takes place in LA, and it's paying $200. Saturday, March 15th, so literally next Saturday. And he shows their Instagram post. If you're an LA-based Life is Strange fan, want to make your opinions heard and get paid for it, we need you. Head to our bio link to find out and register to take part. And you can do this. I mean, you can go. It's a survey. So you fill out the survey, and then they basically say we're either going to accept you or not accept you. We'll give you a call back later, and you'd be approved. Then you just have to get to LA unless you already live there, and answer the questions when you get there. So that's the long and short of it, right? It's just another opportunity to speak your mind on Life is Strange. Now, technically, anybody can do these surveys, right? You can tell them which Life is Strange games you've played. You can tell them the endings you chose of the first game, who you romance. I think those are, by the way, the same questions they asked the last time they did this, right? A couple months ago. So I don't think they're really changing it up. I think they're literally just picking another location and seeing what fans show up and what they want to say, about the franchise. Again, I really like that idea. I'll tell you this, okay? No matter what happens from here on out, right, going forward, I can respect this part of it to a great degree, because I think about just pretty much any other game out there, and it's actually kind of odd that this would be the one game and Square Enix would actually be the studio. But how many other games and how many other studios actually do something like this? Now, I do think other studios, other publishers, developers, I do think they take constructive criticism into account. I think they hear it. I think whether they watch people's videos, whether they read posts, whether they're just kind of around the community, Discord, all of these different things, right? There are different ways to getting these kind of feedback, right? These responses. And I imagine they do it too. I don't think that's really any different. Pretty much everybody does it in those ways. But for them to basically set up a meet and greet and say, okay, let loose, right? Come to us and just go off and tell us what you think you want to see or what we should improve in. And I think that's a big step, right? Whether they take that info and do anything with it, that is probably the most important part. But something like this is kind of uncommon. So I would say credit to them for doing it not once but twice. And then also maybe future credit, right? Like store it in the bank. We'll see. I don't know. I just feel like this would be a good sign going forward. And this is something we talked about, right? I mean, look, Life is Strange fans can be ride or die. And you look to Life is Strange 1, there's a reason why that game stuck around for so long. And it's actually one word of the reason why. Fans. Fans are the reason. People that loved it. Now, obviously, the game has a lot to do with it, and the makers of the game have a lot to do with it, but the fans are the ones that have continued supporting, buying, making videos, making discussions, all making art, right? That's a huge part of the Life is Strange community. Whether or not the Chloe decisions and just any of the lore and the kind of fan appreciation things they could have done in Double Exposure, right? Whether or not that would have completely transformed the game into something that, appealed and pleased everyone, we will never know. And also, you just don't know if those things actually connect, right? If one would actually lead to another. But it is a good idea to go back into the well and say, all right, let's go to the diehards. Let's go to the people that have been around for so long. What do they think, right? And how can we use that and go forward? And especially because so much has been dismantled, right? With Deck 9 and just maybe some sort of reset button has been hit on Life is is Strange, I think that kind of adds to my optimism, where it's like, okay, it's not like they already have such a great idea and they're doing this, but they're not actually going to take what people say effectively. They're not actually going to do it. Well, I actually think kind of behind the scenes they might be struggling for, okay, what do people really want? And they're actually doing, I think, a very smart thing. And well, why don't we just ask them, right? Just go to people and say, what do you want from Life is Strange? That's a great way of starting, I think. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.